So today, you might have been hearing about balance and it seemed like a far off thing. You understand it, but putting it into practice has been hard. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you struggle, sometimes you know. But today, Jose is going to share with us daily habits. If you follow Jose on LinkedIn, especially, and YouTube, you know that he's all about building burnout proof teams. And how you do that is by making sure that this work-life balance thing is not just hearsay. It's something incorporated in your work. It's something you achieve on a daily basis. And so today he's going to be taking the lead and sharing with us practical things of how you can have work-life balance, daily habits. So I hope that you are prepared with your notebook and pen. You are prepared with your questions. Your mind is alert, your heart is receptive, so that we can all draw from the wealth of wisdom that the team leader of team leaders carries. So I'm not going to take up any more time. I'm going to welcome Jose to take us through, and please join me. You can clap, you can use your emojis, you can use your everything that you can use. And let's welcome Jose.
Thank you, Dina. Master Dina, as we call you. Thank you so much. It's good to have everyone here. I remember in the previous session, I threatened that I would use 45 minutes. And then I think it was that threat that made everyone else decide that I should share today. When you threaten and then they actually give you opportunity, like, you people, I was just joking. But we will see how it goes. I'm sure Coach Jennifer and Dina will have a couple of things to add in the discussion. Like I mentioned the other time, this for me is very crucial. That's why today, like the previous time, I will do a bit of reading. Usually, I like to share from my heart. I like to share, as I'm speaking, because that's I think that's what I love to. That's who I am. But there are some things that require for you to write a bit and refer. So today I will do again the same thing. Like last time, I'll be reading from my notes so that I put across a couple of things. It's a joy to have every one of us here. I see a couple of people for the first time. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We will just do, I think I'll just start off with two stories. One that I read today and then another one. You know how a leader can come to you and they're like, you know what? I don't know how it happened, but one time I realized that my life was entirely organized around work and family had to learn how to work around me. And they're like, it was not a burnout. There was no dramatic breakdown, no collapse. It was just distance. Missed dinners, missed appointments, conversations that became transactional, health matters that I kept telling myself I'll deal with later, life decisions that were postponed indefinitely. And the scary part was like from the outside, it looked very well. It looked, everything looked wonderful. If someone looked from outside, everything looked successful. But inside, it was crumbling. Things were crumbling. Imagine your life rotates around work and everyone else has to learn how to live with that. And this is the story for most people. And then I read a story today on LinkedIn from a friend of mine. And yesterday he shared his how he's been battling sickness for the past 3 weeks. And he was saying I should have listened to Jose and his teachings on work-life balance because he pushed his body so much. And so for 3 weeks, the body has failed to recover. And he's just, trying to pick up a bit. But then when he shared this story yesterday, someone reached out to him and told him they are going through the same thing. They have been hustling and they have pushed their body too much. And he's young, he has a young family. But because he's pushed his body too much, he has complications now with hypertension and with liver trouble. And the guy told him, you need to learn to rest. And he's like, but how can I rest? My family needs to eat. How can I have to hustle. You know us hustlers, we have to hustle. But he's now dealing with hypertension and with kidney trouble. And I'm saying, you know what? Your family can afford to miss a meal or two, but they can't afford to miss you. They can't afford to miss you. They can afford to miss a meal or two, but they can't afford to miss you. And I think it's just the reality of people. People will say, but it's nothing to do. If I don't work, then, I have to hustle. Otherwise, where will people eat? But I think your family needs you more than what you provide on a day-to-day basis. Your family needs you. They need you alive so that you can feed them longer, you can provide stuff longer. Your family does need you. And so that's why for me this is passionate. And as I was preparing for this, I think Coach Jennifer read my mind as if and she told me today, don't concentrate on burnout. Make this a bit more spread out because, like Dina was saying, I'm passionate about burnout because I've seen the devastating effects of burnout. So today is not only about burnout; it's about avoiding a quality of life that slips out of alignment, one habit at a time. One habit at a time. It slips out of alignment. And I think leadership, we know that leadership just doesn't shape organizations, it shapes lives, starting with yours. How you lead does not only shape the organization, it shapes the lives of those around you, but starting with you. And that's why it's very important. The fact is, most leadership damage doesn't happen at work, it happens at home. It happens at home. Before burnout, you realize leaders lose connection, they lose presence, they lose health, they lose perspective. And so this session is just about daily habits that can quietly decide the outcome of your life. The lie leaders tell themselves common phrases. Once this project ends, then I will be able to do this. Or, it's just a season. When the season passes, then I will be able to get rest. I'll be able to go to the doctor. I'll be able to catch up with family. All people will say, I'm working hard for this promotion. When the promotion happens, then you people will see more of me at home. You will be able to go for that trip that I promised. We'll be able to go for that, and I'll make up for that anniversary. But you know what? During these times, you are building habits. And the season might end, but the habits won't end because they are firmly established in your life now. So the season might change, but the habits will stick with you because you have built them over time. And you will realize at some point that there will be these indicators because you don't lose balance suddenly. It happens slowly. You realize the relationship strains, health begins to crash on you. People fall sick, and even when they go to the doctor can't find what's wrong, but they are really sick. They have all manner of symptoms, but the doctor can't find what is wrong until I had someone who said, Doctor, there has to be a pill that you give me. And then the doctor was like, there are some pills we give that they really don't have any effect. So I gave them the pill just to calm their minds and feel they have gotten some kind of treatment. But it's that point where you are sick, but you can't see anything. It's the body collapsing on you. Of course, you have poor eating habits with time because you don't have time for food. You quickly order something on a border, delivery. Your eating habits. Sometimes you get home and everyone else is done with dinner. You have no time to get into the kitchen and start, preparing something. You just say, I'll eat tomorrow. I'm too tired. And then you sleep off. You realize there's beginning to be emotional distance between you and the people that you used to be, excited about. Of course, it comes with missed moments. You are too busy for this, too busy for that. It does come with missed moments. So it's these things. It doesn't come in one big moment. It is these daily neglects that you see that start to have that thing. And so what we want to discuss in this daily habits is around four things. One, energy. Two, relationships. Coach, I had to do energy. One, energy. Two, relationships. Three, health. And four, just long-term decisions. If your habits can strengthen these four things, then your balance will become possible. But if your habits do not strengthen these four things, no matter how successful you are, balance will be something you only hear about, but you can't really attain. And so we'll start with a couple of things: diagnosis and treatment. Diagnosis and treatment. So number one is how you transition between roles. I think most leaders don't struggle. Their struggle with balance is just the struggle of unfinished emotional business while they move from one role to another. There's just that unfinished, business in their minds while they move from one role to another. So, and this is because some leaders end work abruptly, they carry unresolved tension home, and they expect to be present at home without decompression, which is a bit hard. What happens is home begins to absorb the work pressure, and the relationships at home become a recovery zone, which is not what it was meant to be. You're not the relationships at home are not a recovery zone. The people at home are not just supposed to nurse your work hangover, so that that's not how it's supposed to be. And so the habits that can help you in this regard, you need to create role transitions. We said people just transit, they carry emotional leftover from one role to another. So you need to learn how to transition from one role to another, not just calendar transitioning, but you have a 10 to 15-minute shutdown ritual that tells you, I am shutting down. I'm not going to carry this. It's a 10 to 15-minute shutdown ritual. You can decide. For me, the way I transition is by writing the top 3 things for tomorrow before I log off. That way, my mind is settled that I have a starting place for tomorrow. So it could be that you just write 3 starting things for tomorrow. That gives you peace of mind that, I'm done with today. I've covered the start of tomorrow. So now I can rest and enjoy on my way back. You can decide for yourself that I think my way of resetting is just to take a walk. After work, when everything is done, when I've closed the laptop, I will just take a walk. And for me, that walk signifies just that calming down. That helps me to now transition to another place with the feeling that I've closed down the other role that I was doing. Or you can say, on my way home, no phone calls, no emails. No phone calls, no emails, which is a bit hard for some people because on your way home, you're finishing up business. But you see, the quality of your presence at home is determined before you arrive. The quality of your presence at home is determined before you arrive, not when you get there. So these rituals help you that by the time you arrive home, you are properly transitioned and you are ready for home. Home is no longer about a recovery place, it's about real presence. It's now about real presence. Number 2, how you treat your energy. We know that most leaders are not just tired, they are they are chronically overdrawn. They are chronically overdrawn. They borrow energy from sleep, from caffeine, from adrenaline, from willpower. That's how some people borrow their energy. They don't have a sustainable energy refilling habit. So they are either using caffeine, so they are borrowing energy from coffee, or they are borrowing energy from willpower. The thing of our press through, that willpower is where they are borrowing energy from, or just adrenaline. This thing, the role excites them, so they are going and going and going. And then they wonder why patience disappears with time, why quality decision drops, and why decision quality drops, and why relationships feel like hard work. It's because they were just drawing energy. They were just borrowing energy. Energy mismanagement leads, of course, to poor eating. You're snapping at people, short-term thinking. You're no longer thinking long-term. Because you're on borrowed energy, you don't have the energy to think long-term. Just what needs to be done now. And there are people who live that way. For them, what needs to be done now? What needs to be done now? There's no long-term because they don't have the energy for long-term. They just want what we need to do now. That's their decision. And of course, you end up with health consequences down the road. So how do you treat that? You need to treat energy as a finite leadership resource, not a personal inconvenience. This thing of resting, sleeping, it's inconveniencing. I need to be at this. I need to be hustling. It is restocking your energy. Is not a finite. Is not an inconvenience. Energy is a finite resource. It depletes. And so what do? You need to ask yourself 3 questions really. What gives me energy today? What drains me unnecessarily? And where am I ignoring recovery? I said a few things that, when you have things that all over the place that you need to, yes. You cannot lead sustainably on emergency fuel. You cannot lead sustainably on emergency fuel. You will definitely burn out at some point. And so you need to understand, I think we usually talk a lot about time management, but not energy management. And energy management determines how well you think, how well you lead, how well you even laugh, and how well you handle pressure. All these things are determined by energy management. So you need to know what things fuel my energy. And that needs to be key for you. What things fuel your energy? What things restock your energy? I was writing the other time and I was saying sometimes we think sleep is what restores all kinds of energy, but there are four kinds of energy. There is the emotional energy, physical energy, social energy, and psychological energy. All those are different energies to refuel. Some people think when I sleep for 8 hours, I'll be fine. But you sleep for 8 hours and you wake up and you're still tired. Your mind did not rest. The body rested. You restocked the physical energy. You did not restock the emotional energy. You did not restock the mental energy. Mental energy restocking is, what do I have to do? You write those things down, you journal, you create space in your mind, you decompress your mind. That is, so you need to know, how do I restock my different kinds of energy? It is not only sleep. Most people think if I go on a holiday, you will go on a holiday and your mind will go with you, still full of all these things. So in a holiday, but you're still on the phone, you're still think of this thing. You need to understand you need to understand there are four kinds of energy, and how do I replenish each of those? Like I said, it's not an inconvenience. This is something that is crucial for you to be able to run long. You need to know your energy highs. At what times in the day do I feel like, yeah? There are some people who are morning people, other people are evening people, other people. I think when I got here, I found something interesting. I found some people who say, I'm not a morning person. I'd never really heard that phrase that way. And so when you talk to that person, I'm not a morning person, in the morning, they will not give you any useful answers. They are not in a good place. They are not, but if you do not know your energy highs, you will know, okay, meetings have to happen in the morning. So in the morning, you'll have to be in the meeting. But that's not where your energy is. And so you will be drained. You will be drained. So you need to know what your energy is. If you're if you're late night owl, then you need to make sure you have rest during the day, or you schedule rest at different times in the afternoon, in the evening. You have to schedule rest, or if you're a night owl, you give yourself a couple of hours and say these are the hours in the night that I will be working 2, 3, 4 hours, and then I will rest. So you need to know your energy highs and your energy lows, and then that's how those are your peak hours. So you protect them like a CEO protects investor meetings. Those are the hours when you have you have meetings, you don't waste that time in replying emails. Those are things you can do when you have low energy now. So these are the times you use it. You use these times for strategy, thinking, creativity, hard conversations in those peak hours. Then in the hours when you're not so peak, then you can have other light conversations, email addresses, the phone calls you need to make. That's how you protect your energy. You need to identify what drains you. There are three energy drains: people, process, patterns. Some people are drained by people. They are around people because they have to be. But if they had an option, give them a computer in a corner, they will be at their best. That's how they'll perform. So you need to know what drains you. Some people, it's processes. Must we do all that? Can't we just do it like this? Process drains certain people. The thought of process terrifies them. Other people, it is just patterns. Why do we have to do the same thing every day, every day, every day? They are drained by patterns. So you need to know what drains you. And sometimes these things are unavoidable, but then you need to do these things at the peak of your energy, because that's when your energy is high. That's when you can do some of these things. You're full, you're on fuel. Even if they deplete you, at least they deplete just half of the tank or a quarter of the tank, and you still have some energy left. But if you do these things when you're on low energy, the meeting will seem like a drag. They will ask you, are you still with us? Yes, yes, yes. But when you are not there, you're not there. If you're not a people person and you try and do these things during your low energy levels, you'll be snappy. You won't be pleasant to be around. So you need to know what drains you. You ask yourself, what takes more energy than it should? And then how do I fix it? How do I reduce it? Or how do I delegate it? Sometimes you need to delegate some of these things because they drain energy. And then, yes, you need to avoid taking high pressure tasks together. That is a drainer. That's an energy drainer. You need to avoid taking high energy tasks together. From a hard meeting to another hard meeting to another hard meeting to a tough conversation. Man, by the time you're done, by the third meeting or the fourth, you are not there. You are snappy. Your decision quality has greatly reduced. You just short-term things. Let's decide and go. Let's decide this thing, and you are not there anymore. You are just let us decide and go. I'm tired. We need to get an end. We need to bring this thing to an end because you stacked high pressure things together. If you want to manage your energy well, make sure you spread these things out in a comfortable way so that you can, each of these things has your maximum attention. Each of these things has your maximum attention. And then in between, you have moments of recovery, just short moments from one meeting to another, just 5 minutes of telling yourself, oh, what a meeting it was. And then you can just decide to breathe a bit and close your eyes and just, calm yourself down. And then you can move on to another task. And then you need to schedule recovery deliberately. You need to schedule recovery deliberately, either 10 minutes of a 10-minute pause, or you say, I will not have, for me, my principle is I don't have meetings at lunchtime. That is my recovery time. If you want a meeting, let's have this meeting at this time or at this time. But at lunchtime, please, I need to. And we say their time, the way you set boundaries is by communicating them very well. You say, guys, I am not able to perform well during lunchtime because I'm recovering, so that in the afternoon, you have my full attention. Then people will respect that. But if you just say, guys, I have no meetings at lunchtime, they'll be like, who do you think you are? You are not the boss here. So, but the way you frame it, you say, guys, by lunchtime, I'm just trying to recover for the morning. So I need to just recover at lunchtime so that in the evening, I'm at the peak of my hours. I can serve you guys well. People will respect that. And so they will let you have your lunchtime for recovery. And then you just, you can say sometimes you can have that walk that you want to take. Now, if I can find my notes again properly, that is a problem. Okay, how you treat your energy. Yes, I think we're just talking about energy. And then I think the other habit is learning the danger of saying yes to everything. You see, every automatic yes is a leadership failure, not an act of kindness. Every automatic yes is a leadership failure. It is not an act of kindness. Sometimes people say yes to avoid conflict. Sometimes people say yes to appear committed. Sometimes people say yes to keep the momentum, or sometimes people say yes to, protect their image. But that cost will show up somewhere else. Every yes has a cost somewhere else, and it will definitely show up whether you like it or not. And so saying yes to everything is not an act of kindness, much as you want to, you want to be seen as the one who is very kind, the one who keeps things in order. That yes is draining things from somewhere else. And so if you keep saying yes to everything, you are in trouble. You are in danger. Either you will have missed family moments, or your thinking will be rushed because you said yes to so many things. Therefore, you don't have time to think through each thing effectively. You said yes to so many things. So you have to make rushed decisions. Your life will be constantly under pressure because you have this and then this and then there's this. You are living constantly under pressure, and it's just now reactive living. You're not living intentionally. You're living reactively. Why? Because you have so many things to attend to. You don't have time for intentionality. Before time, then there's this, then there's this, then there's this. So you're now just living reactively. And you see, the absence of this, because saying yes to everything just sometimes is the absence of decision filters. That's why you say yes to everything. But you have to have a decision filter. And if you don't have the decision filter, you end up being overcommitted. Of course, poor planning, poor life planning, and shallow execution because you have so many tasks. So it's just shallow execution. What habit can you build to overcome this? By knowing by having that a leadership filter, by having a filter, you build non-negotiable filters. Number one, does this thing align with my top 3 priorities? That's a filter. Does it align? Because there are so many good things to do, but not every good thing aligns with your top priority. Otherwise, you'll be spread thin. You'll be spread across, and you won't cover. That's how you end up the year. You have done so many things, but you can't quite measure progress in this or this, but you have done so many things. And so you need to say, does it If it is within my top three, then it's a yes. If it's not, then it's a no. A no in the sense of either I will do it later, or a no in the sense of who can do this, who else can do this effectively, or in the sense of in whose bracket can this fall, who can be served by doing this better. So it's not a flat no. You have to have a no that has an explanation that accompanies, because sometimes you don't have the luxury of just saying no. And so you give a no that is accompanied, that someone can say, okay, this makes sense. And sometimes they give you, oh, you need to do this. You're like, oh, but I'm doing this and it aligns with this. If you do this, it will take my attention and my time, and I will not be able to deliver here very well. Can we do it? Can I schedule it for this? Or can I take this from my plate so that I can do this effectively? So you have that, and whoever it is that is giving you task will know, okay, this person is thinking long term and they want to do whatever they're doing well. They're not just refusing. So it's just those conversations that you have. And then you need to ask yourself, is this the right timing for this thing? So number one, does it fall within my top three priorities? Number two, is this the right timing? Because there are things that are good, but they're out of time or out of season. So you ask yourself, is this for now? Is this for later? Do I have to reschedule it? Do I have to push it off to some other time? And then, am I the right person to do this? All these are questions these are decision filters. Am I the right person? It's a good thing to do. But am I the right person for it? And if I'm not, then I need to spare my energy and have someone else to do it. Someone else ends up doing it. Saying yes too easily is how leaders lose control of their lives. It's just the fact. Saying yes too easily is how leaders lose control of their lives, because now they're overwhelmed by so many things that they said yes to. Habit number 4, presence at home, not time at home. Those two things are different. Presence at home, not time at home. Families don't experience absence in hours. They experience absence in attention. That's when someone can say, I'm always home, but they are not home. They say their I'm always home is in time in regards to time, but in regards to presence, they are not there. Common mistakes leaders make: I'm here. Am I not? I'm here. If people can see me, I'm here. But in essence, they are not there. Their presence is diluted either by phones. They are trying to finish up something, trying to fix something, or the presence is diluted by mental preoccupation. They are there, but they are not there. They are finishing that thing in office now for this meeting. But they are there, but they are not there. Their presence is not there. They are finishing things. Or sometimes it's just emotional fatigue. They are seated there, one conversation, and then, hey, yeah, what were you saying? What are you saying? They sleep through conversations. So it's just emotional fatigue. They can't engage properly because they're emotionally fatigued. I need to wrap up very quickly. Sometimes I can. So I need to wrap up quickly. So I think over time, if you're that kind of person, over time, people stop asking for attention. They just adapt. People stop asking for your attention. They just adapt. And adaptation is not connection. It's one of the worst places to be. When people just adapt to you being there physically, but you're not there, your presence is not there. People just learn to adapt. That's how this person is. They are there, but maybe they come back always tired, so people just adapt to you. How do you diagnose that? You need to create predictable presence. You need to say, okay, when I come home, I'm done with work. Either I will not be on my phone, I will not be, I'm here. I want you people to know that I am here. It's not just my presence. I'm here. You have, protected conversations. You say, okay, between this time, we'll have our conversations. I will not be thinking of this. I will not be thinking of this. I honor you. I honor the conversations that I want us to have. I want us to have this meaningful connection. So you protect those conversations and you try and have, that consistent availability. You try and have the consistent availability. Your family needs more of you than they need you. Your family just does not need you. They need more of you, in the sense of they just don't need you in terms of time. They need you in terms of the person. So it's more of you that they need. We might go into look, but let me just finish up. I think even just then that weekly life alignment, I think we hit it on this some time ago. Most conflicts at home, or most conflicts in relationships, they come from misaligned expectations, not bad intentions. Sometimes it's just misaligned expectations. Leaders who plan, leaders who don't really plan their week, life happens to them. Life happens to them weekly. They don't plan their week. It's just that life happens to them. They have clashed schedules, pressure, and then surprises for everyone. Guys, we're doing this. I'm like, but you didn't tell us. So those surprises that can happen at home. I'm going away for a few months, for a few weeks, or for a few days, but you didn't tell us. And those surprises really do cause pressure and tension that does have an effect on the quality of life with those that are around you. And this it ends up the stress spills over, and then small issues begin to escalate. Sometimes the escalation is not that small thing. It's just because of the spillover from pressure, surprises, all those things. It's small, but that is small. How can you blow up because of that? There was tension that has been hiding behind the door. And so, what do you have those weekly alignment moments as a leader? What's coming? What pressure is building? What needs to be adjusted now? Who needs to be supported? You have that meeting. That time we talked about two meetings, one at home and one at work. At work, you have that weekly meeting. What are we looking at this week? What are the top 3 things we are doing? What are the things that we are not doing? What are the things that we are scheduling? Who is in charge of what? That meeting you also have at home. At the start of the week, you have the meeting. What is coming up this week? On what days of the week will I be a bit more occupied? So that people at home know. It's not a surprise that you are returning at what time, or you have prepared people. That mental preparation does a lot in terms of that balance. People are less stressed, and you have a happy time. So you prepare people for high pressure moments. You prepare people for what tasks do we have, who will be doing what. We talked about meal prep the other time, and there was an app that, who was it? Frank? No, not Frank. Armstrong, I think. Was it Frank? Yeah, it was Frank, I think, who went and, after the discussion last time, they went and looked for a meal prep app, and they found one on Airtel. I think it was. I think they found, there was a meal prep app that they found that can help you to schedule just meals for the week, and that is covered. You don't have to think every morning, what am I eating? That it takes time. What do we eat today? You're having breakfast and you're already thinking, what's for dinner? I've had those moments. But I think if you have a meal prep app, it can save you a lot of stress. So you know what you're going to cook with. These are things that really are helpful in regards to time. I need to wrap this thing up. Anyway, alignment prevents arguments that you have not yet had. They prevent arguments that you have not had, that you would have had at home or elsewhere. I think, let me just finish with this. The accumulating effect. No single habit ruins life, but habits compound. Habits compound. The habits you develop, they compound. And daily neglect leads to relationship erosion, health decline, missed milestones, regret without a clear cause. Leaders don't wake up one day broken. They wake up successful but disconnected. And that's the story for most people. They are successful but disconnected. Your future is already being built quietly, daily, habit by habit. Quietly, daily, habit by habit. That's how your future is being built. It's not the big plans that you have on the wall, and quietly, daily, habit by habit. Let me finish with this assessment. Just a few questions that I'll ask you to write down the answer to, and then I'll hand over. To Coach Jennifer. Just a few questions, and then Coach Jennifer will see how to deal with them. But you give yourself a grading of 1 to 5. 1 meaning rarely, 5 meaning consistently. So give yourself that grading, 1 to 5 from this discussion. Number 1, in regards to how true are these statements. So number 1, I protect my energy intentionally during the week. I protect my energy intentionally during the week. Give yourself a score from 1 to 5. 1 meaning rarely, 5 meaning consistently. So find where you fall in there. I don't know if there is a negative, but we will move with that. We'll give 1 will be the list. And then I eat and recover in ways that support my leadership. I eat and recover in ways that support my leadership. Number 2, we were talking about transitions. So that was part 1 of energy. Number 2, transitions. I shut down work deliberately. I shut down deliberately, not just abruptly. We talked about those routines that you have when you're shutting down work. And then again, the other thing on transition, I arrive home mentally present. I arrive home mentally present. After I've shut down along the way, I can see Dina giving herself fives. What are those ones? And then boundaries. I have clear stop times. I have clear stop times. And then 6, I regularly say no to misaligned commitments. I regularly say no to misaligned commitments. And then in regards to presence, my family or close relationships experience my presence as reliable, not just time. They experience my presence as reliable. Number 8, I protect device-free moments. Like telephones, internet, I protect device-free moments. And then the other question on alignment. So the first question was energy. The first 2 were energy. The second 2 were questions were what were they? Transition. The third 2 were boundaries. Then presence. Then alignment. I review life commitments weekly. Yeah, I don't know how many people have 5 here, but I review life commitments weekly. But now I talk about habits that can help you, because you said your life is being built quietly, habit by habit. And then again, the second question under alignment, my leadership supports the life I want long term. My leadership supports the life I want long term. So you need to reflect in which area did I score lowest? What habit is costing you the most right now? What one change do you commit to making this week? Because you said habit by habit. So you might not be able to change everything, but now you have a framework as you get into 2026. What am I going to be changing in these regards? Work-life balance isn't self-care, it's leadership stewardship. You don't just model leadership at work, you model it in life, at home, in health, and in priorities. I think I will stop at that and hand over the question. Dina. I'll hand over to Dina, who is sharing. Dina, over to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me see the applause for Jose. Oh my God. I don't know about you, but for me, I started here, then I opened here, then I opened here, then I went this side. Like, I made a lot of notes. Thank you so much, Jose. Thank you for taking the time to prepare for us. Thank you for sharing these things with us. And oof, I know that our time is really fast spent, but we still have some 15 minutes and we're going to use them so well so that we can take some questions, get some remarks. But for the record, me who is talking to you, I gave myself straight twos in that assessment. Like everything they were reading, I was just thinking. So if you're like me, we have work to do. Let's go and do some serious work. But when Jose was sharing, there's some things that came to my mind, and I'll just use maybe a minute to say that I had an opportunity to share with some emerging leaders on Sunday, and coincidentally, they asked me to talk about work-life balance. And there's a statement I came across, which I want to share with you, especially on the part of if you struggle to say no to things. I used to be that kind of person. But I've come to realize that I can't right now is a complete sentence. Like find freedom and liberty and peace in saying what you're asking me to do. I can't do that right now. And you don't need to find, I think the thing we struggle with the most is finding a justifiable reason why you can't. You don't need to find a justifiable reason. Just you saying I can't right now is enough. It's liberating. when you finally are able to say, you know what, that thing you're asking me to do at this point, no, I can't. Maybe at another time, or maybe I can't completely, you know? And then the other thing I was thinking about is at the time when I was working on my research, I pushed myself so hard because I had been watching Elon Musk, and he shared a story where he said that when he was building, uh, when he was working on SpaceX, he spent 4 days straight without sleeping. 4 days straight. And he says it even like at that time he was living in the office and his girlfriend needed to come to the office too. If she wanted to get time with him, she needed to come to the office. He was living at work. So I kept pushing myself. I was like, you've not even done quarter of what this man did. You've not been awake for days. You've not, like, you need to do this thing. And so I would also do those things. If I come from work, I take coffee, I work on my research throughout the night. In the morning, I take coffee, I go to work until I called myself and I'm like, what do you think you're doing? You're not Elon Musk. So there's that don't guilt trip yourself into thinking, okay, I've not worked hard enough on this. I've not pushed myself hard enough on this. Try and not do that. The last thing I'm going to say is, I think at some point I was doing some work for the registrar for the Court of Appeal where we were reorganizing registry files. And one thing that they kept sharing with us, because when you're organizing a registry like that, you need to be careful with the work. Losing one picture that you find in a file could mean lost freedom for a person because it's evidence, it's all these things. So they'll tell us, instead of you mixing anything up, catch a 5 minutes break. Like just step off the file and either you walk out, go to the washroom, whether or not you feel like the washroom, just go. Other than coming back and you're wondering which file had these pictures and you can no longer, because of course for protection purposes, they just number that things here and there. So you may try to trace back where the picture fell from and you can't figure out where it fell from, and that is lost evidence. So that's it. I picked that from there and I carried it into my work now. If I find that I'm becoming foggy and all of that, just catch a 5 minutes break. Nobody's going to die, even if they're dying actually. Instead of you making a mistake, just catch the break and then, compose yourself. So, whew, thank you, Jose. Thank you so much for sharing with us. For me, I just really learned so much. And at this point, I'm just going to welcome. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat, but I'm going to ask Coach Jennifer if there's anything she has to share with us. Welcome, Coach Jennifer.
I don't even know. Jose. Maybe we'll have the people who are in the, if anyone has anything to share. I don't have much to share. It's just, for me, it was just so many, what do you call it? Ahas. I think the thing that I need to work on is eating. I have a 3 in eating, Frank. Eating, and I think I've dropped the ball on what they call it, time. Gadgets. Because I used to have like Sunday, it was a no gadget day. But this is, I find myself in checking gadgets on Sunday. I kind of lapsed on that. So eating and gadgets, I think that's where I need to do some work. But this has been so helpful. When Jose was speaking, I was reminded of something that I used to do when I used to work. Because I'm one of those people drain me. I literally feel introverts. People say they're introverts, but it is all right. They will be fine. It's usually extroverts who are saying that. You feel the energy literally leaving, leaving your body. So people will drain me, and I'm a night owl. Didn't actually put it there. My brain starts waking up at 11, at 12, at 2 a.m. as in I am. That's how I am. So I'm not a morning person. Frank is my growth partner. So when I used to go to work, what I used to do is I used to go to work very, very early in the morning. I would be at work by 6 a.m. And people thought I was a morning person. It wasn't that. I needed to fool my brain into thinking that we have been awake for a long time. Yeah, so I'll be at work by 6. By the time work starts like at 8, people working at 8, I've been at work like for 2 hours. Actually, God even gave me an office. So I've been in an office, I've done my quiet time, I have replenished myself. By the time work starts formally, it's like I'm with them. If I came at 9, I would be lost the whole day. Yeah, so that's a trick. I used to go early, trick my brain into thinking we have been at work for long. It's almost afternoon when it's like 8 or 9. So that's what I used to do for myself, because I understood myself, and also to energize myself before people come. So it's like I'd fill my energy cup so that I would be able to handle the people throughout the day. And then at the end of the day, go home quiet, either listening to music and just kind of replenish. But yeah, I think each of us, there are things that if you know yourself, then you know what it is that you need to do. Like now as a coach, because my dealings with people are very intense, I usually tell people on Sunday I don't speak. I actually, for real, I do not speak, don't talk on Sunday. Just to gather my energy and myself, because during the week I'm dealing with emotions and why and my father and what and they did this. So I just need to gather my energy back so that when I go back into coaching and talking to people, I am there, I am present, I can see them. So if you answer those questions and you identify areas, eating now, that one is now, I'm going to start working on that. But most of mine were actually 5s and 4s, because it's like I've taken time to really understand myself and put in place measures to handle me and to take care of me. So just do the work. Is there anyone who has a question or wants to share something? I'm not seeing any question. My growth partner, Frank will deal with the food thing. It's all right. I've come very far from, by the way, with food, because even the fact that I eat now, that I eat consistently, is a miracle. Because for me, food is work. It is real work. Chewing and chewing, as in, why do we have to chew? Yes, Abdul. Abdul, I'm happy to see you. Abdul, what's your question? Unmute and ask. Your hand was up, Abdul. Now he has put it down.
Yes,
What do you think?
good afternoon, everyone. I'm
Good
glad for
afternoon.
having this opportunity to be in this meeting. It has been quite an enlightenment on my side, and I've been challenged because almost my energy concentrated on the ends, on the final questions, where I got a question by asking if I find myself whereby I'm almost having a rare grade on all the cases. How am I going to improve all of them? Am I going to improve all of them at once, or I just plan for improving one by one at a time? That's where my question is, because I've been challenged a lot.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay. Thank you so much for asking, Abdul. I'm going to go back to the person who gave the questions. Headmaster Jose.
Thank you, Abdul. It's good to see you here. I've followed a bit of your work, so it's good to see you here today. And like we're saying, we're avoiding, the feeling of overwhelming. And so these questions were not to make you feel overwhelmed or to make you feel condemned, but they're just to be a starting place. As you look toward 2026, you now know the things that you need to work on, and you can't do all of them at once, but you decide which one is the most important and which one. You can decide which one is the most important, I will start with that, or which one is the easiest for me to start with. So you can decide on two things. Which one is the easiest for me to start with? When you have that in place, then you move on to another. Because we said we're building day by day. We're not trying to build at once. We're building day by day. We don't want these things to overwhelm you. We don't want these things to guilt trip you. We're saying these are the things that, this is what your life looks like now. And this is how you can start from to begin to build. So start with either the easiest or the one that is most important, and then you move on from there. I hope that's helpful.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyone else? Questions, then I'll hand over to you. Is there anyone else who has a question before we return to the owner of the webinar? Any other question? Put your hand up.
Or it could be a comment, Coach Jennifer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Question or comment. And we have only 3 minutes. So if you have any question, comment, any remark, You can just put your hand up and like in 30 seconds, you share. Frank in 1 minute, Frank, one.
Okay, you can start counting. Thank you so much.
You.
I think the right word to call Jose after this is Sir Headmaster Sir. And thank you so much for that masterclass. It was really a lot. And I am one person in my profession. I deal with safety, and I like reminding people a lot about the fact that their family needs them. And this session that you've basically given today gives me another dimension of what that means. Because my biggest reminder has been about a physical presence, you being there for them. However, a physical presence is not enough. There's you being present but unavailable. You're there physically, but mentally you're not there, which is also another aspect into the work-life balance that I've really taken so much into today. I just wanted to say thank you. Coach Zenfa, I hope I've used my 60 seconds well.
Yes, you have, Frank. I didn't have to mute you. I think now I'll hand over to Dina Dina.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Coach Jennifer, and thank you again, Jose. I just wanted to say something small on what Abdul Nasir was asking. It also helps to stack the habits that are kind of related. If one thing can be done immediately after another, then you can like sort of bundle them together, especially those small things that take a minute or two. You stack them, and then at least I've found that helpful for me. You can consider that. Sorry. That said, I want to appreciate each one of you for joining us. Thank you so much. We don't take it at all for granted. And this was the 5th, and unfortunately, the final in this series on work-life balance. I feel like we're just getting started. But it's been packed, and we thank you all for honoring our invitation wherever you heard about the webinar from, be it on a status, be it on LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever. Thank you for honoring the invitation and joining us. And I promised you that I was going to share good news, and the good news is this session was recorded, and all the previous sessions were also recorded. So you can just go over to the YouTube channel. It's Reimagine Leadership Global, and you'll find each and every one of those recordings. Go through them, relearn, take your notes, and excuse me, most importantly, take an action. Don't be the kind of person who's always gathering all this knowledge and doing nothing about it. Take an action, even if it's just one, because this work-life balance thing is really critical for you. So I welcome each one of you to share your insights, whether it's on your LinkedIn page. If there's something that you've drawn from this series, we would really love to hear your feedback. You can DM each one of us. I am Dina Nalubega on LinkedIn. It's Coach Jennifer Ocho on LinkedIn, Jose Chigundu on LinkedIn. Share a message, share your feedback, share your thanks, share your questions, and let's just continue this conversation on those platforms.